Imagine this scene, guys. An elegant Italian restaurant in Jardine, Sao Paulo. Soft, golden lights glowing over dark wood tables, the delicious smell of fresh pasta, golden garlic, and fresh basil floating in the air. Red wine glasses clinking while laughter echoes around the room. 30 people, family, close friends from college, a few coworkers, all gathered to celebrate my fiancé's birthday. Selfies being snapped for Instagram, cheerful toasts, everyone saying what a perfect couple we were. And then she stands up slowly, tears streaming down her perfectly made-up face, voice choked but loud enough for the whole room to freeze. "You're cheating on me! Everyone already knows!" Every head turns to me instantly. Silence drops like a bomb. Her sister, sitting right next to her, has this tiny, almost invisible smirk at the corner of her mouth. Me, I take my time. I pick up the phone that was sitting on the table, unlock it, put it on speaker, and hit play. The next 60 seconds of that audio turned her entire life upside down, forever. And mine too, in a way I never could have imagined. That Saturday night changed everything. But so you understand exactly how we got to that point, I'm going to tell the whole story from the beginning, with every detail that still hurts to remember. My name is Lucas. I'm 29 years old, and until about 3 hours ago, I was engaged to a woman I'll call Letitia. We'd been together just over 2 years, and honestly, I thought we had something real. I'm not rich, but I'm stable. I work in project management for a software company here in Sao Paulo, in Vila Olympia. I make a good salary, not crazy money, but enough to be generous. And with Letitia, man, I was generous as hell. Looking back now, I see every red flag I ignored, but at the time, love had me completely blind. We met at a tech conference in Florianopolis 2 years ago. The event was huge, full of talks on digital innovation and networking by the beach. I was presenting an important project. She was at the marketing agency booth where she worked. We bumped into each other at the happy hour by the sea. I had a caipirinha in my hand. She had that smile that lit up everything. We talked all night about dreams, about Sao Paulo, about how crazy life is. She told me she wanted to start her own consulting business one day. I fell for her right there, with the sound of the waves in the background. Then came the relationship, the trips together. I still remember our first long weekend in Ilhabela. We rented a cute little guest house, spent the day at Castellanos Beach eating shrimp pastel and drinking ice-cold coconut water. I felt like the luckiest guy alive. She was beautiful, charming, and when things were good, they were really good. But looking back, I was stupidly generous. I bought her a brand new iPhone for Christmas, paid for a surprise trip to Rio for Carnival. We danced samba on Sapucaí until sunrise, her laughing and kissing me in the middle of the crowd. I paid for her online English courses, a top-tier gym anytime BB, everything without blinking. She quit her job about 8 months ago, said she was burned out and needed time to breathe and focus on her own business. I supported her 100%. I covered most of the rent on our modern apartment in Pinheiros, her car payments, insurance, all the bills. She talked about starting the consulting business, but nothing ever happened. I never pushed. I just paid, because I loved her, or at least I thought I did. The cracks started slowly about 4 months ago. Nothing obvious at first. She began staying later at the gym anytime BB every Tuesday and Thursday. She'd come home exhausted, take a quick shower, and go straight to bed without even a proper kiss. Then came the phone. She'd spend hours texting in the bathroom, deleting everything the second I walked by. Once I saw her Instagram story with a muscular guy at the gym, but she deleted it in minutes. I asked her about it. Once. She laughed in my face. "You're paranoid, Lucas. You've been so intense lately, huh?" The way she said it made me feel small, like I was the problem for noticing my fiancé was pulling away more and more. In May, I was working from home on a rainy Friday. She thought I was at the office in Villa Olympia. We'd been together long enough that she didn't even check my schedule anymore. I got a call around 2 in the afternoon. I heard everything from the living room, heart in my throat. "Hi, babe. Yeah, I can talk." "No, he's at work." "Tomorrow night works? He has that thing with his brother." I froze. "Babe." The voice on the other end was male, deep, laughing softly. My hands were shaking when I reached the bedroom door. She saw me, and the color drained from her face. She hung up immediately. "It was just Rodrigo from the gym," she said, voice cracking. "I'm organizing a group workout." Rodrigo from the gym. I'd never heard that name before. I didn't confront her. I should have, but I couldn't. Instead, I did something that still leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I called a friend who works in IT and asked him to quietly install a voice recorder on her phone. I convinced myself it was just to confirm what I already knew, to have proof and stop feeling crazy every night. 3 days later, the audio came. A 20-minute call between her and her sister, Julia. They talked about me like I was a well-planned scheme. "It's so easy, sis, like ridiculously easy. He gives me everything I want without me even asking. Sometimes I just have to look happy and the money appears." Julia asked, "Are you going to tell Rodrigo?" Letitia laughed out loud. "Eventually, or maybe I'll just disappear. I'm not staying with Lucas forever. He's so boring. And honestly, after I found out what real sex feels like, there's no going back. Rodrigo is ambitious. He has his own supplements business, you know?" Then they both laughed about how I paid for everything, how I was planning to propose at the end of the year, how cute and naive it was that I thought we had a real future. I listened to that audio 17 times in the following week. Each time it hurt more, like getting punched in the stomach again. I played it in the car, stuck in marginal Piñeros traffic, heart tight, tears falling uncontrollably. I cried alone sometimes, watching the Sao Paulo buildings go by. But I said nothing. I stayed quiet. I started planning coldly. It sounds cold, but for the first time in months, I was thinking with total clarity. It wasn't explosive rage that wants to break everything. It was worse. It was calculated, methodical. I pictured every reaction, every face at that table. Letitia's birthday party was set for the following Saturday, 2 weeks later. Everyone would be there, her whole family, friends from USP, co-workers. She'd been talking about it for weeks, excited. She'd already picked out the new dress I paid 4,500 reais for at that fancy boutique on Oscar Freire. For those 2 weeks, I acted completely normal, like nothing had happened. I went to work, came home, gave her a goodnight kiss. We even had sex twice, and it was surreal, like I was outside my own body watching it. That weekend, we went to the movies at Shopping El Dorado, watched a romantic comedy, and she laughed out loud, holding my hand, like the world was perfect. The whole time, I was just waiting. I didn't fight, didn't argue. I wasn't going to destroy her at a private dinner or in a fight at home. The goal was bigger. Everyone needed to know who she really was. The same people who praised our perfect relationship were going to hear the raw, naked truth. And she wouldn't be able to play the victim, crying to her family like she always did.
The day finally arrived. We got ready at the apartment. She looked stunning, I'll admit it. Tight black dress, perfect hair, flawless makeup. She was buzzing with excitement, checking herself in the mirror every 2 seconds. "Do I look good, babe? Is this okay?" "You look beautiful," I answered. And she did. She just wasn't a good person. The restaurant was a fancy Italian spot in Jardines, picked by her mom. We arrived right at 7. The long table was already full. Family, friends from USP, people I barely knew. Warm hugs, congratulations on the engagement, her dad pulling me aside into a corner. "I'm so happy she found someone as thoughtful, hardworking, and responsible as you, Lucas. You're a gift to our family." I almost laughed in his face, but I held it in. We sat down. The antipasti came out, delicious, wine flowing generously, everyone happy and talking loud. About 40 minutes in, she excused herself to the bathroom. When she came back, her jaw was tight, eyes darting to me and away again. Then, out of nowhere, she stood up. "I can't keep pretending anymore," she said, voice shaking. The whole table went dead silent. "I can't sit here while everyone thinks Lucas is perfect. He's been cheating on me for months, and I'm tired of lying to all of you." The restaurant fell into absolute silence, heads turning toward us. Her mom reached out with a trembling hand. "What are you talking about, daughter? My God!" Her dad looked at me like I had betrayed the entire family, eyes full of disappointment. "That's not true," I said, quietly, calm. No shouting, no defending myself. I was just going to let the audio speak for me. "Not true?" She let out an ugly, nervous laugh. "Everyone knows. Don't lie in front of my family." That's when I picked up my phone, unlocked it, opened the recorder, and hit play. Her voice filled the entire room, crystal clear, unmistakable, bouncing off the walls. "It's so easy, sis. He just gives me everything. I don't even have to ask. Sometimes I just act happy and the money shows up. Are you going to tell Rodrigo? Eventually. Or maybe I'll just disappear. I'm not staying with Lucas forever. He's so fucking boring. And after I found out what real good sex feels like, there's no going back. Rodrigo is ambitious. He has his own supplements business." Julia's laughter joined in, loud and cruel. I watched it all in slow motion. Letitia's face went paper white, then bright red, then a weird purple shade of shame. Her mom's hand flew up to cover her mouth, tears streaming instantly. Her dad looked at her, then at me, total confusion taking over his face. Julia shot up. "That's out of context. Turn that off right now." One of her friends muttered, "Holy shit," under his breath. Another couple started to stand, embarrassed. Her mom was sobbing uncontrollably. Her dad turned red with rage, pointing at her. "Letitia, what is this? Explain, right now." Friends whispered in shock. One even covered his face with both hands. "That was a call from 2 weeks ago," I said calmly, pausing the audio. "Letitia talking about how she plans to leave me, how I'm financing her entire life, and how she's cheating on me with some guy named Rodrigo." The table exploded. Mom crying loudly, Dad demanding to know what was going on, voice thick. Friends shocked and embarrassed, some staring at the floor. Letitia tried to speak, but only a choked sound came out, like she was suffocating. I stood up slowly, grabbed my blazer, and walked out of the restaurant without looking back. She ran after me all the way to the parking lot. I could hear her heels frantically clicking on the wet asphalt from the light São Paulo drizzle. "Lucas, wait! That's not... You can't... You recorded me without permission. That's illegal." I turned slowly. She was crying, but it looked like pure acting. "You're right. You can sue me if you want, but everyone who matters just heard you say those things, and everyone here knows it's true." "You humiliated me in front of everyone," she screamed, voice thin and desperate. "I didn't humiliate you. You humiliated yourself. I just made it public, in front of your family and friends. You're welcome." She grabbed my arm hard. "We can fix this. I was stressed. I said horrible things I didn't mean. I don't even really like Rodrigo. It was just a fling, a mistake." I looked at her there, mascara running down her face, rain mixing with her tears. "It's over, Letitia. I'll give you until the end of the month to find somewhere else. I won't fight over it. Take whatever you want, but it's done." I drove home alone through the wet city streets. I sat for hours in the empty apartment, staring at the wall, the silence screaming louder than any audio ever could. The aftermath was a weird mix of horrible and strangely satisfying. Her friends texted me wanting to understand everything. Her parents called over and over, her mom apologizing like it was her own fault. Her dad, from what I heard, basically disowned her for a while, saying he didn't raise someone like that. The family WhatsApp group was total chaos, audio clips circulating, everyone commenting. Nobody tells you that revenge lasts about 5 minutes of satisfaction, and then all that's left is emptiness. Letitia moved out in 2 weeks. She had her lawyer send a message asking for some of the money I'd spent on her. I didn't even reply. I just wanted her gone.
First, she went to her friend Natalia's place in Moema. Later, I heard she moved in with Rodrigo for a while, until they ended it badly. Julia tried calling me several times to explain her part. I never picked up once. I later found out Letitia's going around saying I was the one who cheated, that she only said those things because she was emotionally pressured. But the people who matter know the truth. Her own family knows. Her friends know. She can spin whatever story she wants on social media, but the audio is out there, recorded forever. The strangest part, I don't feel avenged. I feel tired, exhausted. I wasted 2 whole years, 2 years of hard-earned money, free time, and real affection on someone who laughed at me behind my back the whole time. Exposing her in front of 30 people didn't give me my time or my money back. It didn't erase the shame of being so blind, so naive. Would I do it all again? I don't know. Part of me thinks I should have ended it quietly, confronted her face to face, and moved on. Another part thinks she deserved the public humiliation so she'd learn you don't play with other people's hearts. But deep down, I just wasted energy on someone who was never worth it. After that, I got help. I started therapy in Villa Madalena, twice a week. I began running every morning in Parque Ibirapuera, the fresh air helping me clear my head and put my thoughts in order. The apartment is quiet now, but in a good way. I'm seeing someone new, Anna, who I met at a barbecue at my brother's house in Moema. It's still early, but it's different. She's a teacher. She loves books. We talk for hours about life, dreams, everything. Our first date was a simple picnic in Ibirapuera with hot cheese pastel, fresh orange juice, and real laughter. She doesn't ask for anything. She doesn't need to be bought or constantly praised. We just exist together, and it's peaceful. Real peace. As for Letitia, the last I heard, she's back in the dating scene, telling her friends she's looking for something real now. I almost felt sorry for whoever she tricks next. Almost. Final note. Some people who watch my videos have asked if I regret recording without permission. Honestly, aside from the legal side, I regret it a little. Not because of a possible lawsuit, but because it put me in a betrayal mindset too. I should have confronted her face to face, ended things maturely, and moved on. The recording gave me power, but it turned me into someone I didn't want to be. That said, I don't regret that she was exposed that way. She was going to destroy my life anyway. At least it happened in front of witnesses, and the truth came out. Moral of the story, guys? Don't ignore the red flags, no matter how pretty the colors are. Don't lose yourself trying to save someone who doesn't want to be saved. Value your time, your hard-earned money, and your heart, because when you give everything to someone who doesn't deserve it, the price is way too high. Here in Brazil, we talk a lot about taking a break, but sometimes it's better to cut the evil at the root before it becomes a storm. You reap what you sow. But in the end, you lift your head, learn the lesson, rebuild yourself, and keep going. Some palo keeps spinning, life gets lighter. And I'm here, stronger, ready for the next chapter. If you're going through something similar, comment below. You're not alone. Let's rise up.